Hey everybody, I'm Chanel Herlin, and in this week's episode of Backstage, we talk to singer and songwriter Adia Victoria, who is currently on tour for her album Beyond the Bloodhounds. Let's check it out. Hey everybody, I'm Chanel Herlin for the New Music Buzz, and right now I'm in Echo Park at the Echo with singer and songwriter Adia Victoria. So welcome, thank you for joining us on the New Music Buzz.
Thank you for having me.
So firstly, just tell us a little bit about yourself and our viewers and where your passion for music came from.
I started singing in church. I went to a Christian school. When I was 5, I sang solo in the choir, and from then I just fell in love with being on a stage. I started playing guitar when I was 21. I taught myself guitar after getting into the blues, and I just started writing songs, and it just took off, and here I am.
Well, speaking of the blues, you kind of describe your style as dark blues. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I wanted to tell my own my life story in an honest way, and I felt that the blues was a good platform for me to express what I felt was my true self. And I sat down and I learned at the feet of people that came before me, like Skip James and Robert Johnson and Victoria Spivey, and they inspired me and encouraged me to tell my story.
Amazing. Well, we're here at the Echo tonight, you're performing, so tell me a little bit, how's the tour been going for you?
The tour's been going really well. This is our second time through the West Coast on this album, and it seems like you guys like it. We've moved up a venue size, so there'll be some more people in here tonight, hopefully. And no, it's going pretty well. Eating a lot of tacos. I can't complain.
You've got a really interesting name of your album. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
The name of my album is called Beyond the Bloodhounds, and I got that from a book that I was reading called Incidences in a Life of a Slave Girl by a woman named Harriet Jacobs. And she tells about her survival and her drive to free herself from her master and her children. And she said that the only thing that kept her sane during her life in slavery was getting she and her children beyond her master's bloodhounds. And when I read that, I kind of underlined it, and I was like, that's the name of my album.
So it was a simple but really involved process, actually. Although we think sometimes it's just so easy to think of an album name, but it needs to mean a lot.
That's right. I mean, you have to live with it, and I think that it has to say in a simple phrase everything that you're saying on that album, and that's the hardest part. Like, that was the last thing that I actually came up with, was the title. So yeah.
Now let's move on to something else. You've got a YouTube channel, and I love your little cute animations of How Do You Do? So tell us a little bit about that, and where did that inspiration come from?
How Do You Do is a series of writings and blog postings and poems that I began in my mid-20s when I moved to Nashville from Atlanta. And I was having to deal with a lot of beliefs that I'd held about myself that had been influenced by society, and it was just an exploration of me challenging these beliefs and using writing as a tool to question myself, which I believe is necessary for anyone, especially an artist. And after I was signed, my label asked me if I would be interested in publishing any of my work, and I explained that I would like to, and they had the idea of linking me up with an artist to give a visual component to my writing. And I worked with a very talented young man at my label named Andrew Ralph, and I went up to New York and I read the poems and I read the stories, and he drew.
Amazing. Mm-hmm. Is that something that you would like to explore a lot more this year, as well as your music and writing songs?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm always looking for different outlets of expression for myself creatively, and I'm always writing, so I'm sure that this won't be the last foray I go into animation and visuals paired with my writing.
Yeah. And speaking of expression, you're quite vocal with issues of race and diversity and culture. As an artist, is that something that you feel is really important to express to your followers? Why do you feel like you need to do that?
Well, for me, I can only speak for myself, but the thing that I love about my art is that it gives me an ability to process the world around me, and I'm going through this life as a Black woman in America in the South, and that influences my life for sure. I'm not interested in putting out art that's navel gazing or just not talking about anything. I want to challenge people like I'm challenged, and I have faith in my audience and my fans that they will follow me and maybe use that as a vehicle to go inside themselves and question themselves as well.
100%, yeah. It's always good to challenge ourselves, especially in this day and age. But something else that was amazing for you, you were on the cover of Nashville Scenes, the Year in Music. So how exciting was that for you?
I mean, that was a really big honor. It was quite a surprise. Patrick Rogers, who interviewed me, the editor at Nashville Scene, he and I are friends, and I had mentioned a few years ago that I would like to do a kind of interview with he and I about The Simpsons, because we're huge Simpsons fans, and that hasn't come to fruition yet, Patrick.
Yet. It will happen, Patrick.
It's going to happen, Patrick. But he came back and he was like, would you actually like to be on the cover of the music scene? I was like, well, while we're waiting for The Simpsons, I guess so.
It'll do. But now you're a Nashville girl. Are you ever going to be an LA girl, do you think?
Well, I'm not a Nashville girl. I just happen to live there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm never going to be an LA girl, no. Never. Sorry.
That's okay. I saw your Instagram video today to the haters and the bullies out there from South Carolina, am I right? So as an artist yourself, and for young artists out there and even older people who are wanting to still be musicians, what is your advice to get through the hard times and to really just live your dream?
I don't know about living your dream. I would say live your life and stay honest with yourself and keep an eye out on the world around you and remain curious.
Well, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it, and all the best for tonight.
Thank you.
It's going to be amazing.
Thank you.
So guys, be sure to check out Adia Victoria on all social media platforms, as well as us at The New Music Buzz. I'm Chanel Herlin.
I'm Adia Victoria.
And you have just been buzzed.
Ties me together to you. Who says there ain't room for two? You can join me in my tornado. Put your hand in mine, we'll be just fine while it blows, baby, it blows.